I found myself standing outside of a Best Buy the morning of May 12th, 2023. My copy of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom laying just out of reach. The sequel to my favorite Zelda game, one of my most favorite games of all time, soon to be mine. I couldn't be more excited. As Link and Zelda explored the depths below Hyrule Castle, I hearkened every word. Zelda and Link adventuring together, being together. It was wonderful. And after briefly testing Link's stamina, I was sure to stop and talk to Zelda at every turn, milking the game for every one of their interactions. I loved Zelda's energy, her eagerness, her excitement for learning. I nearly screamed when Link, unprovoked, took Zelda's torch so she could take photos unburdened. And then of course the game continued. The two reached the point previously shown in trailers. A crusty hand falls off an even crustier corpse. Zelda collects its strange jewelry, only for the corpse to reanimate and attack. Link, sworn swordsman, leaps in to protect her, losing both arm and sword in the process. It was also very funny seeing this be the reason Link loses all of his hearts. Thematically appropriate, but very humorous. Anyway, Zelda falls into the abyss. Link, taking no time, jumps after her, but he misses. His busted fingers just barely missing those of Zelda. He has just enough consciousness left in him to see Zelda teleported away by the strange stone she acquired, before he himself is grabbed by old Crusty Hand. He wakes up to find his arm replaced by the Crusty Arm, and now the arm's previous owner, Rauru, can talk to him for a bit. There was probably something about disability and prosthetic limbs that could have been expounded upon, but the game makes no point of doing so, and I'll leave it at that. After finding the busted-up Master Sword and a skirt, we get the shot. Link standing high above Hyrule. It's truly breathtaking. And then he dives down to initiate the title sequence. I'm already having a blast as Link lands on the Great Sky Island. Early on, he gets Zelda's Purapad from a cool-looking robot known as a construct, and activates a really cool bridge. I'll also note this is when I turn off the minimap. During my first playthrough of Breath of the Wild, I had all the normal things active, but in my second Master Quest playthrough, I had heard someone say that turning off the minimap makes for a very immersive experience, and I had an absolute blast playing it that way. So for Tears of the Kingdom, I wanted to have a similarly immersive time. I didn't want any quest markers to guide me. I only wanted the roads and landscapes to tell me where I wanted to go, and so I turned it off right away. I continued to explore Tutorial Island, getting some frogs, fighting some constructs, before getting to an impassable door. The ghost of Rauru tells Link it's due to the corruption, but luckily this game's shrine incarnates will be able to purify him. The first shrine, despite resembling a particularly crass viral image, also looks really cool. I loved the bigger on the inside look of them, as if each was simply opening a portal to some other realm. In this realm, Link is given his first new arm power, Ultra Hand. With this, he's able to pick up most objects and stick them together, albeit with a notable lack of proper tutorialization. It took me so long to really figure out how to use this power. I briefly touch the button that would have allowed me to rotate. It passes me by, leading to some truly frustrating moments. At least I do learn how to align things with the ground. And even worse, after some clever brute force, I cannot figure out how to unstick things. And this combination, it doesn't go well. But hey, there's always cheating. And the animation for getting the lights look cool, especially as it travels into Link's arm. Heading to the next shrine, I still can't seem to manage rotation, but it usually works out in the end, even if things are a bit crooked. Next, Link gets Fuse, and as it turns out, it's really fun sticking boulders onto the ends of swords. After exiting this shrine, Link gets an energy cell, which allows him to use Zonai devices. At the start, he only gets one battery, and let's just say it stays that way for quite some time. But none of that is important anymore. With some exploring, I stumble upon a big tree. Climbing into the tree, I stumble upon a rock. Picking up the rock, I shudder. With excitement, with fear, with anticipation, with anger. Yahaha! You found me! My very first Korok seed. Not knowing how many are in this game, I can only assume it's the same as in the previous. And out loud, in my room, to myself, I literally shout, only 899 more to go. On my way to the next shrine, I see a really cool event where some constructs fight against some choo-choos, which was really neat. I love when a world has internal logic and persists even when the player character isn't acting. I then stumble across a cave and this wild thing in the cave called a booble. I had no idea what it was, but I did feel the indescribable need to shoot it and to pick up the gem it left behind. And then, after nearly 2 hours of playing, Link found a shirt. Yay! It continues to be frustrating building things without the ability to rotate, especially so when I don't notice one of the fans is at an angle. So I move on from that and explore this other area. I fight a guy, get a chest, and realize I can't get back up. And this part made me fall in love with this game all over again. When in doubt, just climb out. And at the top, a Korok. Yahaha! Back at the boat again, things are choppy. I do eventually realize picking up the fan will orient it upright, which helps in the short term. I also learned that axes still cut wood, even when they're on water. But eventually I'm able to cross. From here it's more Zelda. I cook some, fight some, I find a very dark cave while riding a fun minecart. I like minecarts in this game. I like roller coasters in general, I guess. At the end of the cave I stumble across a forge which I will promptly forget about. There's a lot of currencies in this game, it was hard to sort them all out at first. Speaking of fun minecart rides, this game sure is pretty. And gachapon machines are fun. This is when I ran into the first new type of Korok puzzle, one I was a big fan of. These guys need to get over there. And that's always fun. Plus they reward 2 seeds. Getting them all will go by like nothing. So despite loving minecart rides, sometimes I'm not the most observant. And I keep making my way to the next shrine. Find a cave, find a booble, cook maybe not enough cold-resistant meals, and find myself in the cold tutorial section of Tutorial Island. Find yet another Korok. I'm pretty darn good at finding Koroks, but once again run into the issue where I don't know how to rotate, but for now I'm still getting by. I see another example of enemies fighting, find another booble, and encounter my very first like, and it goes maybe not so good. In the same cave, I also maybe don't quite remember the controls too well, but eventually exit and find myself on another snow-covered cliff. I see a big plateau that I want to get to, but have a bit of a hard time getting on it. But before I can do any more brainstorming, I run out of food, and continue forward to try to find another cooking pot. Unable to get back to where I came from, I go forward again, into a freezing cold river. Stocked back up on food, I find the proper way up the plateau from earlier, fight some guys, and notice the shrine is just right there. And I don't want to go down there, which is undoubtedly the correct way to go, and so I don't. In what was one of my proudest moments from this early section of the game, I utilized the tools I've been given. Chopped some trees down, glued them together, and just walk up them. Getting access to the next shrine and the next ability, Ascend. Afterwards, I find some snow pants, which would have been really useful earlier, find yet another Korok, and revel in the beauty of this game by testing out the cool Zonai glider. Back at the locked door, Link is now pure enough to enter, and gets to see a stoic memory of Zelda, and is granted the fourth main power, Rewind. This only grants Link access to yet another locked door, and is told to teleport back to where the game started. Up there I found a crystal refinery, a thing I really should have paid attention to, really should have committed to memory. Regardless, using the really cool Rewind ability, Link gets another light, and can fly back to the next locked door. Fly right back. Fly... Well, shoot. And now I've noticed this other island, so I've got to go there first. I almost make it. Until I don't. And then the next time, I almost even get the Korok. Until I didn't. Yaha! I make my way back to the door, get Link his first heart container, love the animation of opening the door, say goodbye to Rauru, then see one of the coolest cutscenes in the game. Using the power of Rewind that Phantom Zelda just gave Link, the sword rewinds itself back to when Zelda was last there for her to do something with it. Such a cool way to play with the time mechanics. Right after Link sees the sword disappear, a dragon bursts from the clouds, and his next goal is made clear. Make his way to Hyrule and find Zelda. And I jump off Tutorial Island exactly as the game expects me to. Oh. And Link jumps off exactly as the game intends, and I get to see this beautiful landscape as he falls, and I enter Hyrule proper. More than excited to finally be back in this place that I love so much. Interested by the new mechanics, but more than happy to simply have another reason to be here again. Then, in an act that I'm not too proud of, I immediately shoot a fox, and then I get kicked by a horse, and then find yet another Korok. Yahaha! And that marks the end of my first Tears of the Kingdom diary. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and would like to see more of these, please let me know. Maybe leave a rating or subscribe if you want to see more of what I do, or follow me on my various social medias where I'm at Mario8th everywhere. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time, but before I go, here is a death montage.